Welcome back to the Tobago Update Morning Show. We have on the line with us Mr. Omar Abdullah, and he's here to speak with us about cargo shipping delays as the controversy surrounding the Tobago Express begins to heighten. Good morning and welcome, sir. Good morning, sir. I'm not sure if we can't
Your
hear
mic
you right
might
now.
be muted. But
My
yeah,
mic was muted. Sorry about that.
Yes,
yes.
good.
Good
We're
morning
hearing
to
you
you
now.
and good morning, a pleasant good morning to all your viewers.
So, Mr. Abdullah, let's get right into the meat of the matter here. There have been some protests concerning Tobago Express. Can you, for those who may not be aware of the situation, can you just give us a background on what's happening?
Right. So basically, what had happened yesterday, I'll begin with yesterday. We had three protests taking place yesterday simultaneously. One in New York, the AG's office in New York. One in Trinidad, in front of Nicholas Towers, where the Ministry of Trade and Industry is housed, and also one in Tobago at the Chief Secretary's office in Calder Hall. Those protests were simultaneously held, and it was to raise the issue as regards to a number of persons, a huge amount of persons that has been affected by not receiving their cargo, which was shipped to them. Some of them, 1 year ago, since last November, to date, and they have not been able to access their cargo at the ports in Trinidad. So basically, they would have reached out to us, the First Wave Movement, complaining about this issue, highlighting the many frustrating attempts that they would have made to communicate with government officials, agencies, etc., that has oversight with regards to this issue, and they would have not gotten anywhere. All right, some of them even would have attempted to seek legal advice on the matter and so on. To date, nothing substantial has ever taken place, and they are still at a stage where they are practically lost, and there's no certainty as to whether or not they'll be able to get their stuff.
Mr.
One,
Abdullah,
yes,
sorry to interrupt you, but we have heard on several occasions ministers or just public personalities stating that this is a private matter. Tell us why it is dangerous for the government to continue to look at this particular case as a matter within the private sector and not one that directly impacts the government.
well, I'm glad you asked that question because it opens up a all new conversation, and a lot of people has been making that comment on social media. And I want to make it absolutely clear here this morning: the government is not innocent in this matter. Under the Trinidad and Tobago law, it has a legal duty to protect consumers, regulate trade, and investigate business misconduct, even when the company is privately owned. The Ministry of Trade and Industry, through the Consumer Affairs Division, is empowered to act. Their silence in this matter is complicity. The Consumer Affairs Protection is a legal duty. We have to understand that. All right, and for some government ministers and government agencies who does not understand their role and function, I'm here to explain exactly what their role and function is in government this morning. Right? It is certainly consumer protection. It is a legal duty. It is not a courtesy. Let us get that right. Right? The Consumer Protection and Safety Act of Trinidad and Tobago, 8234. It is absolutely clear. It says the director shall investigate complaints relating to consumer goods and services and take appropriate action. This includes goods withheld, services not rendered, and unfair trade practices, even by private company. Even by private company. the Consumer Affairs Division under the Ministry of Trade and Industry. And I've heard an interview with the Minister of Trade and how he answered that question and indicated clearly by his answer that that's a private matter. I'm here this morning to tell all of Trinidad and Tobago and to inform him, because that's a new post that he has, and I'm not too sure if he had gotten his job spec right correctly. But I'm here to inform them that they do have a duty to the people of this country. So under the Ministry of Trade and Industry, it is mandated to investigate consumer complaints, enforce redress and mechanisms, and protect the economic interests of the citizens, right? So when hundreds of people are denied access to their cargo, the government must act. Look how long this has been happening. This failure to do so is not neutrality, as the minister would have said in his interview. It is negligence, and we have to recognize it as that.
So, Mr.
Right? And this, yeah.
Mr. Abdullah, what are some of the
Yeah.
reasons the shipping company is giving clients that they can't give them their cargo?
Well, what the shipping company is saying, the latest, I think there was an article in The Guardian, was yesterday, I believe it was. And she have indicated all the while that, there was a delay in shipment, or there was some delays, and it's been sorted out, and the people are going to get their stuff. And persons who would have called and inquired were given time frames of 1 week, 2 weeks. All right. On average, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks, right, for those containers to get to Trinidad on average. If you factor in some delay or some unfortunate incident or occurrences, right, maximum 2 months, nothing more than 2 months. Persons have been waiting almost a year, 6 months, 4 months, all right? And so now she's saying that not everybody would have paid their fees, all right, up front to have those barrels and containers shipped to Trinidad and Tobago. But I want to remind her that this is a policy of her company. This is a service that she offered to the people, that if you don't want to pay now, you can pay after, all right? So it's not no fault of the persons not paying. They were given an option. And besides that, putting that aside, every single person that would have come forward and explained to us their predicament, we have asked them to submit to us, because we want to know that these people are legitimate and they really have, an issue with this company. We would have asked them to issue their receipts, to give us a copy of their receipts, so that we will know that those receipts represent payment for shipping the items to Trinidad. And every one of them thus far, and we have over 100 of them, and every one of them thus far has produced their receipts, right? So that excuse or that item that she's bringing up now, it's an attempt to save face, all right, based on what is happening presently. And it's not going to go away. I want this individual, this woman, to understand this is not going to go away. It's going to get worse, and you're going to be sinking yourself deeper and deeper into a difficult situation where you might not be able to get out of. And we are offering you an olive branch. We are offering you to come forward, and let's all sit with the shipping liner and the shipping company itself. That's the ship that brought the items to Trinidad, and let's sit with some of the regulators, the oversight committees, representatives from these agencies. Let us all sit and let us work out, and let us come to a solution where these persons will be able to get back their items at least in the list before Christmas.
Mr. Abdullah,
right?
I'm glad that you said
That's
that,
all we're
because
asking.
in the case where there is a situation where it's possible that this company, Tobago Express, is not financially able to meet its obligation to these shipping companies that would have shipped the containers to Trinidad and Tobago, what sort of resolution are you looking for? And what role does government officials play in such a resolution?
Right. So like I said, what we are saying is that we have written letters to these different, regulatory bodies. We wrote under the FOI, under the Freedom of Information Act. We wrote the Ministry of National Security, the Ministry of Legal Affairs, Trade and Industry. We wrote Consumer Affairs. We wrote to Custom and Excise, and we also wrote to the Port Authority. All of them got letters, FOIA requests. Okay, the response would not be forthcoming at least, for at least 1 month. All right, so you're going to have to wait on that response. We would have engaged them as well, written letters to them complaining about this issue, right? And what we are suggesting that these regulatory bodies, these oversight committees, they come together and let us all sit around the table and let us have a discussion on how we can move forward with this debacle. Remember, Clico. Clico is a private company. All right, everybody's talking about, well, Tobago is a private company. Clico is a private company. What did government do? They bail them out. All right. When price gouging occurs, that's a private situation between the retailers and the customer. Didn't government get involved? What about when there are unsafe products on the market? What does government do? They intervene and they recall the products. All right, like medicines and so on and so forth. This is what government do. That's why they are there. How the Minister of Trade could tell the reporter that that's a private issue. So what is his duty as the Minister of Trade? Isn't this a matter that falls under trade? Isn't this a matter that falls under industry? Come on, let's be real in this place.
Understood. Well, Mr. Abdullah, we want to thank you so much for representing the community of persons who were affected by this incident. We know that, these persons span different ages and different economic status. It's not, concentrated to any one group of persons. A lot of persons have been affected by this issue.
I just want to end by saying this one thing. A government that refuses to protect its citizens from corporate abuse is not neutral. It is complicit. And if we and we will not stop until every ministry, every agency, and every office does their duty. I'm promising that.
Understood. Again, we want to thank you so much for coming on to Tobago Updates and letting the persons know that the work is being done to advocate on their behalf and all that has been done within the process of this situation unfolding. Guys, we're going to go straight over to what is happening next.
Yes, so up next we have